Hello, hello, and welcome one, welcome all, welcome to another live. And as you can see on screen here, in terms of some of the updates that we have here, Dintil, they're leading Yalas 2 goals to nil, and Centrali leading Port Antonio 1 goal to nil. Welcome one, welcome all. Please remember to hit the like button, the share button, and the subscription button as we continue to grow stronger together. All right, let us know too which school you're supporting, as well as, the match updates that you'd like for today. So please remember again to hit the like button, the share button, and the subscription button. Welcome one, welcome all. And as you can see here from our quick updates, Central Eye, they go up to 2 goals against Port Antonio. So Central is definitely trying to cement their place, all right, into the round of 16. Again, Central Eye now leading Port Antonio 2 goals to nil. And of course, we'll be checking for further updates. All right, welcome one. I see here in the chat, Chuck Ross, welcome, and thanks for sharing that update too in the chat. Much appreciated. All right, guys, we're here and we're also trying to see if we can get some connections for you in the context of this game. So thank you so much for sticking and staying with us. It's going to be another fantastic day of DaCosta Cup action. And for sure, in a little bit, you'll be hearing from Rurian. And just to give you some updates here, Monroe College, they are leading Malden 1 goal to nil. All right, so welcome one, welcome all. And of course, I'm a little bit biased because I am a Clarendon girl and Centralized one of the teams that I am supporting. So you don't know the thing set. All right, so let's go. So Monroe College, they're now leading Malden 1 goal to nil. All right, not seen an update yet from the encounter between Alphonsus Davis and Brownstone. But again, Centralized School, they're now leading Port Antonio 2 goals to nil. Dintil, they're leading Yalas 2 goals to nil. All right, not seeing an update here regarding Tech and Ocherius just yet, or between Cedric Titus and Black River. But we'll be back in a little bit with those updates. But right now on your screen, let's just take a look at Yalas and Dintil. All right, and Central and Port Antonio. Welcome one, welcome all. Please remember to hit the like button, the share button, and the subscription button. And so as we get the updates, so we share Centralized School now on 3 goals to nil. All right, so just to let you know that, so Centralized School there, they're making it clear. All right, and that's 3 goals to nil. Yalas there on 2 goals to nil. Dintil there having the lead. It is still 1-0 here between Monroe College and Malden. All right, so we're just trying to refresh this page too because we have to do it like every second now because that counts. And Centralized School, they're set and well on their way. And I suspect that Ruren is going to come in any moment now to take this one over. Chuck Ross, thank you so much. You're updating us in the chat. Really appreciate that. And Chuck Ross is saying Alphonsus versus Brownstone. The referees are not yet there. Okay, so thanks for thanks for giving us that update, and let's just refresh here again to see if we're getting some more updates. All right, it's still 3-0 here, and I suspect here, let's just see what's the situation here. Cedric Titus, no updates just yet. All right, and let's just move down here. Central there, and just heard about the situation there. So Monroe, all right, so that's 1-0 there. So we'll definitely, keep an eye out on what is happening with these schools. So Rurian, I'm not sure if you're ready for us, but I'm just going to try and see if I can just close my microphone here and just come over to you. Hello, Rurian, how are you?
Hello, let me know if you're hearing me. Another exciting day in the second round of the DaCosta Cup. And I guess we have some Manning Cup games being played as well. But we're right here with the DaCosta Cup and brilliant start for Central, High, and Dintil. So good start for those teams. Central leading 3-0 and 2-0 for Dintil against Yala. So that's a good start for these two teams, and they are well on their way to the round of 16. So thank you guys so much for being here with us. Would like you, once you've been here, once you come in, just hit that like button, put a comment in the chat so that we know who's here with us. If you haven't subscribed, please click on that subscription button and become a part of our family. Hit that post notification so that you know when we're live so that you can come on and be here with us as well. We totally appreciate you being here and we look forward to see what you would put in the chat for us. Please also drop your favorite team in the chat so that we know exactly who you're supporting and so we can provide more detailed updates.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Rurian. And in that context, guys, let me just do a quick refresh here, and we'll definitely hear from Rurian again. All right, in a little bit, but we just want to see if we're getting, any further updates in the context of the games here. All right, still 1-0 there in favor of Monroe. So in that encounter between Monroe and Malden. All right, Centralized School, they're leading Port Antonio 3-0. All right, Dintil, they are still there 2-0. All right, in the context of Yalas. And, let's just, I guess, take a look at this group. All right, so we did our mathematical calculations, right? And so it was a possibility where we could have, for example, Dintil, Central, and Port Antonio all on 5 points. As you know, Port Antonio, they were at the top of this group based on goal difference. All right, and so here, a draw would see them both on 4 points, no, 5 points, and Dintil winning that game against Yalas would see them on 5 points as expected. All right. So in that sense, it would mean that, Dintil would want one of these teams to lose, not wanting a draw, because if one of them loses, it means that them registering a win would allow them to go through to the round of 16. And so that is, what Dintil want here in the context of the encounter between Central and Port Antonio. Dintil want one of the schools to outdo the other. Dintil does not want a draw. That won't work for them. So right now, Dintil hearing this result, they should be happy. So I'm expecting to see some more goals scoring in that Dintil Yalas encounter, because Dintil should be on a high unless they allow this to get to them and break their momentum to say they have been there, they're there. But they should score some more goals in this context. And absolutely fantastic performance here from Central Eye. So it begs the question too, that matchup between Central Eye and Dintil, what went wrong? Because Port Antonio, they had a draw with Dintil, and now Central is pretty much at this point, having a good advantage over Port Antonio. And I shared this one of these evenings, I believe with Rurian and persons who were on the live, that based on the statistics, I would say Central is the strongest team when you look at the goals for and against. And so this is proven, I guess, proven right now as we speak, but we'll see what happens because it's never over until the final whistle is blown. All right, so guys, if you're just tuning in, welcome Delroy, welcome From. I am, let me just check to see. Not seeing anything here yet from From, but we'll definitely check in to see elsewhere what is happening. Mark, welcome again. Happy to have you here. And Mark is saying, so today I'm supporting Central Eye and Ocherius. Fantastic. And pleasant, and Mark is saying, pleasant afternoon. Good afternoon to you there, Mark. All right, happy to have you here joining us from the Caribbean. All right, so somewhere in the Caribbean. So welcome, Mark. So happy to have you here. And guys, once you come on in, just hit the like button, the share button. Yes, so Mark, I want to see some more Caribbean people coming over. And the subscription button, all right, so that you do not miss any updates from this space. All right, it's still 1-0 there in the Monroe Malden encounter. We're told by Truck Ross in the chat that Alphonsus Davis and the Brownstone encounter, all right, that wasn't started due to the referees. All right, not there yet, so we'll see what happens. All right, Dintil is leading Yalas 2-0. Soji, where are you? All right, and From Tech, all right, hopefully you're still here, Delroy. From Tech, they're leading Ocherius 1-0. Now, that's going to be interesting in that round. All right, but From is already safely through. So I guess let's take a look at the school who is in that one. They'll be happy for this result here. Cedric Titus and Black River, one of these schools, they'll be happy for the result here. So Ocherius perhaps they need to come back here. And I suspect that, as I said, Cedric Titus, Black River, and I need to just go back to look at that group, and perhaps Rurian, you'll be in a position to do that. But From Tech leading 1-0 there. And Monroe, Malden, 1-0. Central, 3-0. And hopefully we'll get an update soon in the Alphonsus Davis Brownstone encounter. So hopefully that does not put off play till another day. Okay, look now, this is what I'm talking about. Dintil, you heard me. So Dintil is now up to 5 goals against Yalas. And this is what I'm talking about, guys. So Dintil, thank you for listening. I really like how you listen, Dintil. All right, so this is what I'm talking about. So at this point, Dintil should be happy in terms of, scoring some goals in this one. All right, kid, welcome. All right, good afternoon. An Ocherius match. From is leading 1-0. All right, guys, as you enter, please remember to hit the like button, share button, and of course, the subscription button. All right, so welcome one, welcome all. All right, Dintil is definitely listening to me and I like it. I definitely like it. So welcome. Ruren, I'm just going to come over to you to see if you'd like to share. And I suspect you have something to say, so I'm coming over to you.
Yes, these games going as expected for Dintil and Central High. And, I like the fact that this competition is set in such a way that you can't take any game for granted. This position that Glenmuir was in where they could have, been eliminated, winning two games. That shows that every game is meaningful here and all the teams you know, they go out there trying to do their best at all games. So there's no easy game in the group. And, that's something that is really, really, I really like about this format. But, good to see Central deciding that they are going to take matters into their own hands because it that match against Puerto Antonio that they're playing now is almost could say it's a knockout game. If Port Antonio won, then it means that they would go through Central. If Central wins, then they will go through. A draw would be something else, but it's almost pretty much a knockout game. And Dentil is making sure that if they even draw that game, Central and Port Antonio, their goal difference is going to supersede them. So it's going to still come down to who will go through between Central and Port Antonio. So they're doing themselves a world of good by scoring lots of goals against Yalas.
Fantastic. I really like, Ruren, how you touch on that goal difference encounter in the context of Central High School and Dintil, because right now I suspect Dintil, they're obviously aware of what is happening in the Central encounter, and they're saying to themselves, hey, if it is that Port Antonio should come back, they're working on that goal difference because right now, if we're looking at the goal difference, Dintil would be on +5 and Central would be on +5. All right. And so right now, Port Antonio there with +3, given that information, they would be kind of, going down if they should have a draw here. So, and then perhaps the draw too will eliminate some of the goals. So that's another part, So Dintil would perhaps be going through, and I don't see how they would perhaps kind of split Central. But the thing is, Port Antonio, they have a +3 goal difference. So a draw with Central would mean Port Antonio goes through with Dintil. That's my thinking because remember, Port Antonio now is up on +3, right? And so in this context, they're leading +3. So a draw means they and Central will have the same amount of goals. So it means that Port Antonio will go through and Dintil. So, I mean, Central is not playing any games here with this one. So again, and Dintil, it's still saying anything, any ball can play over there, So, you know what? But as I said, Dintil should be scoring like crazy, happily scoring. So, welcome. Karif! Oh, my word. When I see people, when I know they're over here, look at Central. Can I tell you? And let us just refresh this page here. All right, let me tell you, one Central. Central at the school where I mentioned. All right, so we're here for it, guys. So as you enter, please remember to hit the like button, the share button, and the subscription button as we continue to grow stronger together. Karif, how are you? And Chakras is saying that Dintel is now at 7. So we'll wait for that update here on screen. All right, welcome one, welcome all. Come on, come on. All right, happy to have you guys here. Let us know too where you're tuning in from, the school that you're supporting. All right, I see we have one central here. and let us see if we can get some updates here in the context of these encounters. I'm still having 5 goals to 0 here for Dintil, so we'll just keep an eye out on that one for sure. And let's just check for some more updates. So from Tech, they lead Ocherius 1 goal to 0. All right, so just to let you know that, let's just take a look at that From Tech group. All right, so in the context of this group, all right, let me just tell you what is happening here in the context. So from, they're very much safe and sound in the round of 16. So win, lose, or draw, they're good. All right, so what happens now is that if Ocherius picks up a loss, they will remain on 4 points. So Black River, they have the opportunity here to perhaps, go through. The only thing is they need to score quite a few goals, all right, in that encounter between Cedric Titus, because they're on a -2 goal difference to get ahead of Ocherius. If Oche should lose this one, they'll be on +4, all right, with a +4 goal difference. So Black River, if they should win in that matchup between Cedric Titus, they're on 1 point now. They'll move to 4 points, but they need to score at least 6 goals in that game for them to be on par with Ocherius. So they would want like 7 goals to outdo Ocherius in that regard. All right. So when we think about goal difference, so we're looking out for that one as well. All right. And in Monroe Malden, all right, Monroe there taking this one. All right. And Dintil, Chakras is saying Dintil could have scored 20. One Central win, even if I did 1-0 Central still atop the group. Absolutely. We know that one for sure. Kedan Bailey, come on. Look at Central. Welcome, Kedan. Welcome. Happy to have you here. Please, guys, hit the like button, hit the subscription button. One Central at the school we have mentioned. So I'm coming over to you, Rurian. It's exciting. Central supporters are here in the chat. I know some of them personally. I believe you too. So let's go over to you.
Yes, it's good to see the support, guys, and continue to support your team. That's what the guys need to know that they have that 12th player that's off the park. So good to see, persons rolling in and representing, their respective schools. And I tell you, Central is a staple on this program today. So we have been supporting Central from the onset, and that's really good to see them doing really well. So that's something that's really nice. And it's good to see that Dintil, they know that they are qualifying, but they're making sure that if there's any slip up that happens, then they're going to take charge of this group. But based on how things are headed now, it seems like it's going to be a central Dintil coming out of this group 5, and this one will be definitely resolved at the end of the day. So continue to support us, guys. Continue to like, subscribe, and share. Continue to represent your school. Put the name of your school in the chat, and we'd really appreciate that. If you're a new subscriber, if you just like, let us know so that we can big you up and continue to encourage you to support us and support your team in this competition.
Fantastic.
Fantastic. All right. So welcome. And Chuck, I really appreciate the support there from you. And Chuck is saying not official yet. All right. Alfonso, David, and also Mark. That's really fast. Okay, at the stage. All right. And perhaps, guys, let me hear me in the chat. All right. Fantastic. All right, guys, so that's the situation here on screen. We're still having it here, 5 goals to 0. Frontex, 1 goal to 0 over Ultra Central. They continue their 3 goals to 0, and I suspect the halftime is perhaps up on us at some point Monroe College one goal nil here in their matchup between themselves and Malden. Welcome one and Chakra, let me know if the audio is better and is it that you're hearing me or the other host? Let me know which side of the audio is choppy from your side. Let me know. All right, so that we can work to fix that. All right, so we'll wait for you, Chakra, to let us know who you're hearing clearly as opposed to who you're not, or if it's on both sides. Let us know there in the chat. All right, so it is definitely fantastic here just to get some of the results that are coming in. And I'm just waiting for some confirmation from you there, Chakra, while we look at the results here on screen. And I am also doing some additional checks here just to see if we're getting further updates because, things are definitely changing. All right, downtown Alphonsus Davis, I can see the players that were out there. So hopefully that game will get on its way very, very soon. All right, so welcome one, welcome all. I'm not seeing any further updates. I'm suspecting that the audio is done, and so I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm not too sure. I'm suspecting that the audio is good or it's better now at this point. All right, but I can definitely just see if I can hear myself here and just to get a sense of what. Okay, so it's very choppy.
All right, guys, let me know if you're hearing me any better. All right, so I suspect that was the microphone there. So, again, my apologies there. And I am just going to try to get back to my screen here in a little bit as well. All right, so happy to have you guys here. And again, thank you so much for letting us know. Not sure what's the situation there in the context of that microphone. That's usually what I use on this side, but I guess you're hearing me loud and clear right now. And my apologies, I guess some persons left because the audio wasn't good enough, but that's the situation, and that's life. Sometimes we win some, we lose some, right? All right, but so happy to have you guys here. All right, these are the results that we still have. All right, and Monroe Malden there. So I'm just going to come over to you, Rurian, and just check in to see, what you'd like to share with us at this point.
Yes, thanks. It's good to see that the teams are still out there going on. I'm wondering if there's going to be any resurgence from any of these teams that are down. But for now, From doing well against Ocherius, Dintil doing well against Yalas, and Central High doing really well against Port Antonio, and Monroe still leading Maldan there. So a lot of these games will be sorted out today, and some good scoring from Central and Dintil, which will give them a certain level of comfort going into the second half of this game, of the games, and they can pretty much control what is happening in these games going forward, and let's see how this will pan out. But it's good to see those teams, referring to Central and Until right now, taking control of the game from in the first half, making sure they did what they needed to do, and now they could pretty much play for the final whistle because lots of goals they have scored, lots of cushion there, and they could pretty much shut it down, defend if they want, and they know that they have done enough to make it through to the next round. But clinical performances so far from these two teams, Central and Dintil. Um, Wondering what will happen with those other games. The game with Chrome Tech and Ocherius, still seeing just one goal for Chrome there over Ocherius. I'm wondering if Ocherius will be able to get a goal or two to make that one interesting. And also, Maldan game against Monroe, I'm wondering if there will be any sort of comeback from Malden. So it's interesting to see how these games will finish. We can't write off any team yet, but it's going to be really challenging for the likes of Port Antonio and Yallas to come back in these games against Dintil and Central, respectively. And the games from against Ocherius and the one with Malden and Monroe, those two games are really interesting because just a one goal difference between the teams at the moment. But guys, we thank you so much for being here with us. Continue to share what you know about these games. Continue to represent your team in the chat. Continue to support us by liking, subscribing, and also, turning your post notification on, share as well, so that we are able to continue to grow as we go forward in this competition. But we totally love what is happening here. We love the community. We love the fact that you're able to join us here and share in this round of 32 with us. So continue to be here with us. We really and truly appreciate your company and just continue to be here with us. So just to go back through to the scores, I'll let you know exactly what is happening. So from Tech Ocherius, From is leading 1-0 over Ocherius. The game Yalas versus Dintil. Dintil is leading Yalas 5 goals to nil, and the game Central versus Port Antonio. Central is leading 3 goals to nil, and Central and Dintil are in prime positions to go forward in that Group 5 action, those games from the Group 5 there. So if nothing changes, these two teams will go through. And the last game, Monroe versus Malden, is still 1-0 to Monroe College. And let's see how these games will pan out. Again, we thank you for being here with us. Put a comment in the chat so we know who is here with us. Continue to support us as we continue to give you live updates of these games.
All right, thank you so much there, Rurian. So it's a bit quiet now because from my understanding, some of the teams, it's halftime, and so we're just waiting, but this is the update or we have at this point. All right, Monroe College, they're now leading Malden 2 goals to nil. All right, so welcome one, welcome all. And I am seeing Sherland there in the chat sharing that the film game is 0-0. And we'll just keep this result that we have here until we get some confirmation there. But thank you so much for sharing, Sherland. All right. And so we'll just wait to see if we get some further updates in the context of the From encounter. But what I can tell you in the context of Central I, all right, Alaric Archer, all right, is one of the goal scorer, all right, scorers there. And Delon Briscoe apparently scored two of the three goals. So that's fantastic there against Port Antonio and the Dintil game. So we're going to stick with the results that we have. 5 goals to nil, and I know we were here in seven, but it's still 5 goals to nil at halftime. All right, Monroe Malden 2 goals to nil. All right, so we're just going to wait and see as we get further updates. All right, in that context. All right, so welcome one, welcome all. Happy to have you guys here. Thank you for sharing those updates too in the chat. We really, really appreciate it. And do not leave without hitting the like button. All right, share button and the subscription button. All right, so we'll leave it there for Dintil and Central until we can get some confirmation. All right, again, welcome one, welcome all. Happy to have you guys here. And it's fantastic how we're just getting closer. So after today, hopefully just one group will remain, I guess, not finalized. So hopefully, we'll get that, situation there, sorted for tomorrow. All right. So just to let you know that as well. All right. So it is what it is at this point. And we're just checking here to see updates as well. Okay, Sherlon, I see you there in the chat. All right, in the context of what is happening. So we're expecting that the central encounter, I believe it is about to restart or just started the second half of that one. I'll see, let me just see here, but that one should be on any moment now or back. All right, so we'll definitely see, what is happening there in that context. All right, again, welcome one, welcome all. Happy to have you guys here. And it's also a fantastic day just to be getting some of these updates and realizing that teams that we're supporting are really moving forward. So, Ruben, I'm just going to come back to you here.
Yeah, it's good to see the teams that we have selected in group five. Those ones are doing really well. And it's good to see the supporters coming out to support their respective schools. But we want to keep encouraging these guys and continue to encourage and support the players, no matter which school they're from, because the thing is, you know, these guys they have put in lots of energy into getting themselves ready. And win, lose or draw, we need to support them. And it's good when your team is doing well and we support them, but when things are not going right as well, we should still be in their corner. All right, lifestyle, good to see you supporting Black River. That's great. Great. Rep your schools in the chat. We'd really appreciate that. Thank you so much for being here with us. And if you are just joining us, I think we are at the halftime for most of the games. The score that we have, Central is leading Port Antonio by 3 goals to nil. And let me give you the other ones. Yes, Yam Dintil is leading Yalas 5 goals to nil. Monroe is leading Malden 2 goals to nil. And from we're waiting for a little bit of update as it relates to that from game right there. But we totally appreciate you guys being here with us. If you're here, please make sure you close the chat for a moment, hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscription button, and we will appreciate that. So an update here. So Central versus Port Antonio, it's now 4-1. So that's an update for you. Central still doing well, but Port Antonio trying and finding a goal. That's good for them. And let's see how that one will end.
All right, fantastic there. So, as we say, it's never over until that final whistle. So, Central going up for Port Antonio coming back here with a goal. We'll see what happens here. Dintil, we still have their 5 goals to nil. We still have here 1 goal to nil for From. No update there yet from Cedric Titus and Black River. I'll make some additional checks regarding that one, as well as Alphonsus Davis and Brownstone. But Monroe College, it's 2 goals to nil there in favor of Monroe in the encounter between them and Malden. All right, so that's the update here. So Central, they can't be too relaxed now. Yes, they have a good lead, but they need to maintain that without Port Antonio scoring, because we don't want a draw here, do we? We don't, because a draw is going to be dangerous, and perhaps Central is the one who is not going to make it. Well, Central will not make it through if they draw, because Port Antonio already have a better goal difference. So Central must be careful in this regard. And I suspect that Coach Jermaine Douglas will be definitely talking to them. And I happen to know Mr. Douglas. So that's good. So one more plus there for Team Central. And again, happy that they are doing well. All right. And Mark, who are you not hearing clearly? Just let me know. And make sure that your live is all the way to the top. Well, perhaps you won't be hearing me now live if it is that your system is not where. Okay, much better now. Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much, Mark. All right, so that's the situation here. And we're definitely keeping an eye out on what is happening in the context of the updates. All right, so here, that's the situation right now. So let's see if we have anything further here to share regarding updates. And it looks to be the same here. All right, so that's the information that we have at this point. All right, so 1 goal to nil from Andochi there, 5 goals to nil in favor of Dintil here, 4 goals to 1 in favor of Central. All right, and 2 goals to nil there in favor of Monroe College. Is there anyone here supporting Monroe College, Malden? Let me know in the chat, guys. All right, and Mark is saying it's all good now. And lifestyle, thank you. Audio good now. Earlier, you were buffing. Thank you so much. And it was perhaps the microphone. I'm not sure how, because that one is what works. So maybe it was the system that it was going through, perhaps. But yeah, so that's interesting. So Black River, okay, lifestyle is supporting Black River. Unfortunately, we do not have an update here. Let me just do some checks. So Ruren, I'm just going to throw this over to you while I do some checks to see if I can get some information regarding the Black River encounter here. So I'm just going to come over to you.
Okay. All right, guys. So thank you for sticking and staying with us. We love when you comment in the chat and keep us up to date, keep us on our P's and Q's as well, so that we're able to, get this information to you in the best possible way. So as you heard earlier, we have Dintil leading Yalas 5 goals to nil, and the game Central and between Central and Port Antonio. Central is leading 4 goals to 1. Not hearing anything about the Brownstone Alphonsus game yet. And with Monroe and Malden, Monroe is leading 2 goals to 0. And as we said earlier, with the game Central Port Antonio, it's literally a knockout game, that one, because Central has to win to go through. And as was said earlier, if it's a draw, then Port Antonio will go through, but based on the fact that Dintil is doing so well against Yalas, not sure if Yalas will be able to come back from that. But once Dintil wins, the match between Central and Port Antonio is going to determine who will join them in round 2. But as things are at the moment here, Central seem to be well in charge and on their way through, and they will top the group if they win their game, and they will go through with um, Dintil from this group. So that's what we're having right now. Thank you guys for being here with us, and continue to be here with us, as we want your company when we get into the round of 16. And I guess a bit later on in the week that we'll be able to establish the teams in each group. That's going to be in 4 groups in the round of 16, and we'll see how things progress from that point onward. So thank you for sticking and staying here with us. We appreciate your company.
All right, thank you so much. Unofficially, I'm seeing some updates from Black River, but not yet confirmed. So I really don't want to share what I'm seeing, one update and another update. So I'll just wait to see how best we can get some information there in that context. But it would appear from those updates that Black River is leading. All right, Cedric Titus, which is the expectation though for that encounter, but we'll just wait a bit more to see, what information we have available that we can share. I am also, as I shared previously, seeing some updates where Dintil, they're leading 7 goals to 0, but we're yet to get that. I checked over there on Issa, and I'm seeing 5 goals to 0, so I am not too sure what's the situation there, but for sure we'll definitely provide information as they come along. Monroe is leading Malden 2 goals to 0. All right, welcome one, welcome all. If you're just tuning in, so happy to have you here. All right, guys. So if you're still here, thank you so much for sticking and staying. And we want to be here until all the games are all done. All right. So just to let you know, and Truck Ross is saying unconfirmed, and I have some unconfirmed reports there too regarding Black River, and don't want to share that. Sherlan, you're saying from is nil, Otrius nil. And we are having here from 1 goal to 0. So it could be a mistake over on this side, but we'll just see what happens once this is updated. All right. So for sure, we'll definitely keep an eye out on that one for sure. All right. And also, Alphonsus Davis, that encounter there, will definitely keep an eye out in that context as well. But guys, if you're here and you have not yet hit the subscription button, what are you waiting for? Would really appreciate the support, guys, as we head on to 5K subscribers. That would be really appreciated as we expand to bring you bigger and better programming. All right, we really crave your support in that regard. So the easiest ways to support us is by hitting the like button, the subscription button, and the share button. Yes, share. Tell a friend to tell another friend about the Voices in Education. Voices in Education is a safe space where we share and learn from each other. We do that in a respectful way, so we do not bash anyone, we do not belittle or disrespect anyone. We understand that we share different views, similar to how you're representing a particular school and I'm representing a particular school, but we're here and we can agree to disagree. And that's totally okay. We learn from each other. That's the bottom line in a respectful way. So thank you so much for coming over. And importantly, you want to tap the notification bell and select all so that you do not miss any updates from this channel. So when we go live to discuss like the groups, and in terms of predictions, we want you to be here and be a part of that conversation as well. When we open the WhatsApp line, we want you to call in and participate and share your views. It's voices. It's not just my voice. All right, it's our voices, and we want to hear from you. So whether you're sharing in the chat or you're giving us a call, we really appreciate it. On that note, let's just take a look at the chat here. All right, so let's see. And let's just do some refreshing here just to get a sense of what is happening in the context. And yes, we have the update. It's Frontech nil and Ocherius nil. All right, so that's the update for sure. It's nil all right, so fantastic there. And so we know the system will eventually fix itself. All right, and so that's nil all. So Sherlin and Truck Ross, you have been sharing that, but still, we're not seeing that 7 lead there for Dintil. All right, but the system here fixing itself, so it's nil all there. All right, and it's still Monroe leading Malden 2 goals to 0. And let me just kind of tell you what's the situation in that group. All right, so let's just go to, let me just kind of bring that up here. Monroe and Malden. So this system, once they confirm information, they'll make the necessary changes for sure. That's our expectations, by the way. And let's just go and see here, Monroe Malden, that group. I'm just coming, I'm just trying to access that information here. And I'm just going to share with you what that is going to look like with that group. All right, so Brownstown, they sit at the top of this group on 4 points. So this group, as I shared in our analysis, is pretty open. All right, so Brownstown on 4 points. Monroe College, they're on 3 points. So a win here for Monroe is good. It takes them to 6 points. All right, and in the event that Monroe loses to Malden, Malden goes to 4 points. Monroe will be eliminated. All right. In the event that Brownstone loses to Alphonsus Davis, they will go on 6 points, and it means Brownstone and Malden would be on 4 points, but Malden would have to get some good goals there to surpass Brownstone, but they're just on a +1 goal difference, which is not too bad for Malden if they can score at least 3 because they're on -2. So 4 goals. All right, that would clear things up for them. So a pretty open group, but with Monroe taking the lead this early, it means that a win for Monroe put them on 6 points, and they're likely they will go through. And then it will all depend on what happened with Brownstone and Alphonsus Davis, because Alphonsus Davis, if they win, they'll get 6 points. So they want a win from that game. All right, if they draw, it means that they'll lose out on moving forward because Brownstone will go to 5 points. All right, so that's the understanding there with that group. All right, so welcome on, welcome all. And Chakras is saying, let me just see here what is happening. Okay, okay. I see what you're saying, but they are not even carrying the game. So I mean, it's not as if vloggers they're able to carry it from a perspective where Sports Max would take it because they'll have a different angle, right? So I guess they're reporting the pages. Is that the situation? Is that the situation there, Chakras? I don't know, but I can't tell when last I saw a match on Sports Max because I was wondering too if their sponsorship was cut in that regard. I know last season they were good, but I don't know what's happening this season. But yeah, so I guess they're saying if you pay your money to go to a game, you cannot stream it. That's public space, man. Oh well. That's the situation, but we'll see. All right, let's just check on some more updates there. And just to let you know that that's the situation there happening. Well, look at this now. Central has to be careful. Dintil, they're now on 2 goals. So it's 4-2. Central does not want to throw this away. So Central needs to just ensure that they are protecting their defending as best as they can and try right now to see if they can get a goal to kind of maintain a gap between themselves and Port Antonio because Port Antonio seems to be coming back. Will they have enough time? I mean, there's so much goals that can be scored by now and the finish. So centralized school, they need to be careful in this one. Come on, Team Central. Come on, Team Central. You can do this now. And Dintil, we're still having 5-0 there. All right, so let's see what happens here. Monroe College, they're still leading Malden 2-0. All right, so those are some updates coming in, guys. All right, so just to let you know, Deshaun, welcome. Deshaun, you're supporting Black River. All right, let's see here. Let's just see if we have any updates there. I saw some unofficial updates regarding Black River, but the updates were that Black River, they were leading. All right, so I am just double checking here too to see what other updates we have, okay? So just to let you know that. Welcome, guys. If you're just tuning in, welcome one, welcome all. Happy to have you guys here. Come on, if you're new to this space, hit the subscription button. Hit the subscription button, please. Like and subscribe, turn on your post notification bell. All right, so Central High School, as we told you, 4-2, and we're getting Caron George, the goal scorer there for Port Antonio, I guess in the 68th minute. So I guess we have a few minutes to go there in the second half, plus, the additional time. So we are just waiting and hoping to see what Central will do in that context. All right. So just to let you know there in that context, that's the situation happening right now in the context of the centralized school matchup. And I just need to remember that I need to keep refreshing this page so that we can see what is going on. Welcome one, welcome all. If you're just tuning in, so happy to have you here. But as you can see, it's not over until it's over. All right, so centralized school, all right, they are pretty much here. And this is why Dintil too, they have to get as much goals as possible because a draw for Central and Port Antonio means that Dintil, Central, and Port Antonio will be on 5 points. And Central is likely to drop out if they end on 5 points because of goal difference. Because Dintil now, they're going to be at +5. I'm just kind of doing this from memory right now. And it means Port Antonio, they were already on, I believe, a +2, some plus goal difference. So they're at the top of the table, ahead of Central in the context of goal difference. So Central has to be absolutely careful with this one because they will definitely lose out. All right, so just to let you know that as well. All right. Oh, the parish coordinator. I okay. I don't understand, but people need information and they don't provide it readily. All right, Monroe College, they are leading 2 goals to 0. All right, still based on what we have, and Chuckross is sharing there. 0-0 between Alphonsus and Brownstone, and we're told that that one started off late. All right, thanks Chuckross for sharing. And from Tech and Ocherius, 0-0. We have an unconfirmed update regarding Cedric Titus and Black River. But based on that unconfirmed update, Black River appears to be leading. Not yet confirmed. All right, so just to let you know that. So welcome one, welcome all. Let me do a quick refresh again. All right, just to see what's happening. Right now, I just want Central game to be all done. I want them to go through, guys. I really want them to go through. All right, so just to let you know where my heart lies today. Yesterday it was Glenmere, and today it's Central. But you know, the thing is, I am a Clarendon girl, so I love to see the Clarendon schools, all right, in that context. So it's going to be significant. Dintil, they're pretty much cementing their place in that round of 16 with this lead over Yalas. Yalas is the weakest team in the group. I don't see Yalas coming back here to defeat Dintil. And so centralized school, they have to maintain this lead to get out of this group. This group has worked out tougher than expected, really. All right, so just to Sherlan, thank you for the updates. Guys, as you come in, we're over 20, so can we get the likes up to 20? And I'm asking for 5 subscribers while we continue on our journey to 5K. Come on, guys, please hit the subscription button and the like button. And we're here watching. So Alphonsus Davis, Brownstone, 0-0 all. All right, and that's the first half there. All right, so that's the update that we're getting to. So that is confirmed. The match is going on and it is 0-0. All right, right there in the first half. And I guess in a little bit, we might have that here on screen for you guys. All right, Monroe Malden, it's 2-0 there in favor of Monroe. And 0-0 between Alphonsus and Brownstone. Central Eye, they're leading Port Antonio 4-2. All right, Dintil, they're leading Yalas 5-0. From Tech, still 0-0 there between them and Ocherius, but From Tech, they're safe and sound. They're into the round of 16. So it's pretty much playing to see where they will go. All right. In that essence, if they finish at in the number 1 spot or in the number 2 spot. So Cedric Titus Black River, just unconfirmed reports that Black River is leading, but we'll try to get some updates in this context as soon as they're available. I'll definitely share them with you guys. All right. So just to let you know that. And let us see here. I'm just refreshing the chat, guys. Sometimes it goes. Okay, no new comments in the chat just yet. And I'm just checking here for further updates. And we'll share them as they come. All right, so centralized school, they'll have to ensure that they maintain this lead to move forward. All right, so that is significant for them. And as we speak, let's just go back here to just see what we might have in the context of updates. Not seeing anything just yet, but we'll see what happens. It's never over until that very last whistle, right, is blown. So that is something that we have to learn over time. All right, I saw the flash in the screen. I was like, okay, is that a new update? But no, not yet. All right, so again, welcome one, welcome all. Happy to have you guys here. We'll just keep it here on these 3 games and just to see, you know, what is happening in this context, all right? All right, so we're definitely here keeping an eye out just to get a sense of what is happening. And we're definitely going to share as the information comes. Let's see the Monroe game here. It's still 2-0. All right, welcome one, welcome all. Happy to have you guys here. Right now, it's just me here running. Garmel, welcome. Happy Grove. Happy Grove, they're happily into the second round, you know. So Happy Grove, that group won't be finalized until tomorrow. All right, because that game between Bel-Air and Homewood that should have been played on Saturday was not. So it happened when yesterday. So that group won't be finalized until tomorrow. All right. So Happy Grove, that group won't be finalized until tomorrow. From Lifestyle You Choose, welcome. From is well into the second round. It doesn't matter what calculation. From is well into the second round mathematically. Either they're going to top the group or they'll end in the second place. All right. So From is good. Win, lose, or draw, From is good. We did that mathematical calculations in one of our lives in terms of looking at all the possibilities for the teams. So From is good. From won 2 games, right? So they're good. And unlike the group with Glenmuir, even though Glenmuir had won 2 games, when we did the mathematical calculations with Glenmuir, they weren't too safe. They were definitely on their way, but based on the possibilities, they could have not gone through as well. So, but From is good, just from my recollection there. Let me just refresh the page here and I'll tell you, see if I can remember some of the possibilities in the context of From. But From Tech, I believe the last time I checked, they were good. And I stand corrected, but I believe From and Happy Grove, they are good and in. It doesn't matter what happens. All right, Carrie, if you look at Central, and I'm wondering what Central is doing at this point. They need to calm down and ensure that they're not opening up their defense at this point too much. Let's check in on Monroe. It's still 2 goals to 0 there. All right, so we'll definitely see what happens. So let me just see if I can tell you now lifestyle and to tell you about From Tech here. Let me just go and tell you what's the situation with From Technical. But they're in. They're definitely in to the round of 16, win, lose, or draw. So this match for From is really to see if they're going to top the table, the group, or just be placed second. All right. So win, lose, or draw, From Tech is safe and sound. They're into the round of 16. All right. So let me just check as you come in, guys. Welcome. Happy to have you here. Lifestyle saying Black River need From to win. To win. All right. Goal difference playing a part in the second spot. So Black River, definitely, they need From to win. I agree with you, right? And so From winning would put them on 9 points. And Black River winning against Cedric Titus will put them on 4 points, the same amount of points with Ocho Rios, right? But the goal difference, as you stated there, is going to be significant because Black Ultras, they are on a +4 goal difference at this point. Black River is on -2. So for Black River to get to a +4, they will have to score 6 goals and not concede. And to surpass Ultras, it means they need to score at least 7 goals, all right? If it is that From Tech and Ocherius should draw, then Black River is totally out. So I guess that's what you're saying there in essence. All right, so happy to have you guys here. And we're checking the updates and, just letting you know what's happening from what is not at this point, I guess. And I guess Carrie, like myself, we just want Central game to just done right now. But Central play and show your strength and what you have to offer this season. So we are looking out and we're expecting great things from one Central. All right. So Malden Monroe is still leading their 2 goals to 0. And we heard that Black River was leading it in this encounter with Cedric Titus, just not able to confirm. All right, so we'll just leave it here and there, and we'll definitely see what happens. So thank you so much, guys, for coming in and hitting the like button. Please remember the subscription button as well. And share, tell a friend to tell another friend about the Voices in Education. Really appreciate the support. And appreciate me. Welcome. Yes, Dintil I go through. Yes, Dintil is cementing their place. So Central cannot play around now. They definitely need to win this one. to move forward. So this game is a must win for Central. They can't play around because even if they draw, right, it's going to be a situation where Dintil will move forward on goal difference because and as well as Port Antonio because they'll have a better goal difference. All right, so I guess the encounter between Alphonsus Davis Brownstone, it is still 0-0. All right, and they're pretty much, I guess, into the first half. All right, we're told that that one started a bit late. All right, so we'll definitely see, what happens in that one. Alphonsus Davis, by the way, from just looking up the address, it's a Clarendon school. So if they make it in, it means that and Central, it means that Clarendon would have quite a few schools there. So we want Central to go through for sure today. Alphonsus Davis, if they register a win, it means that they're going through. All right, so we'll definitely see what happens, all right, in this context. And lifestyle, yes, we're getting some updates that Black River is leading, but I am not able to confirm them yet. So just thanks for sharing the updates there in the chat. Um, lifestyle is saying Black River is doing what is needed. Don't just need to win and not concede. All right, and yes, Black River would want, they should be saying a prayer wanting From Tech to win. And, that would be what they want in this case. But, last evening I was having a conversation just off live, and we were talking about this thing where you have some teams, for example, From Tech now, they know that whether or not if they win, lose, or draw, they're into the round of 16. So for me, like in the last game, they're just pretty much respecting the fixture, right? In terms of just playing out their games. Or perhaps they want to top the group so that, they can get a school that they would want. And in some case, because we know where some schools are going, you'll decide, okay, you know what? I would rather be in the second position because I would rather be in this group. So that is something that I am wondering, if it is, and we're talking and saying perhaps it will come back to this, but the timing in terms of when the games are being played and even how and how much, I guess is going to be significant. So for example, the reverse is also correct in the sense where we have some teams that they know that they're not going to move to the round of 16, so they're just honoring fixtures. So for example, Yalas. There's no way Yalas is going to make it into the round of 16. Win, lose, or draw. They will just not make it. And so it's like they're there now and say, okay, I'm going to try to see if I can make the school come with me, or do I allow the school to go through, or, that kind of situation. So I am wondering, what can be done in that regard, and would love to hear from you guys in this context. And so, schools, so even like yesterday, and I don't know if this is true, with the game between Spot Valley and Cornwall, I'm not sure. We were told, and I don't know how credible this is, that they changed, Spot Valley made a goalkeeper change. I'm not sure. And if they did, I don't know for what reason. And then right after that, the goals were coming in for Cornwall College. So I don't know. And it could be too, even if the keeper was changed, that perhaps, something might have been wrong with the first goalkeeper that was in there. So we got that information, but we're not too sure how to take it, and we're not a propaganda channel. So we try not to do that. So we were just thinking from that perspective where you have some teams, they know that they're in, they don't need to do anything much. It's a case where they could perhaps control that particular game, say, okay, I want to go here because so far these schools are coming in. So it shouldn't be a case where we have some groups being complete and some groups are not, because then you know, okay, this school is already there and that school is already over there. You know what? Let me hold a second place. Me not really want to win that game here, you know, because me want to go over this. So, or you say, you know what? Me want to win that group here, so me can go over there. So I'm wondering, can we get them going at the same time? And I guess they wanted to do that, but situation, because it's not like they're going to maintain the groups that they're going to go in. They're moving from 8 into 4 groups into the round of 16. I don't know if you guys understand what I'm saying. And I feel that at some point, people can say, oh, you know, Kim sit over this, so me no want to go over this. You understand? So just that kind of case. And lifestyle is saying from have respect, so they will continue to push. Yeah, and that's good. And that's good. Not saying that the schools are doing that, you know, but just saying how can ISA arrange the game so that it's kind of level where a team might not even want to think that, or say, okay, you know what, it's too easy. And it's happening on either side, right? Of it. Either you're there, you know that your spot is well secured, like a from Happy Grove. They don't really need to play unless they want to say, okay, I want to go in this group. And for example, like a Yala's playing today, all right, it could be a situation where they're saying, hey, I want to go there. But by the way, Central is up by 5 goals to 2. Let me just refresh here to see what's the situation here. So let's see here. So it looks like Centralized School, they are up 5 goals to 2. All right, Central, don't give us any headache. And look here now, Black River, they're leading Cedric Titus 6 goals to 0. And it is still 0-0 between From Tech and Ocherius. So we're getting some confirmation in the context of the updates that we were getting. All right, so just to let you know that Dintil still there going 5 goals to 0. Central 5 goals to 2. And let's check in with Monroe. Monroe is leading Malden 3 goals to 0. All right, so just to let you know that. Um, Prishimi, which Central and Linfield going through how many minutes in the match? I am not too sure. I am not too sure, but I could perhaps give you a rough calculation between the Central Port Antonio game, and then it just would be a rough because I'm not sure how much additional time or our stoppage time that will go there. All right. Sherlan is saying yes, they did. I guess in terms of the goal score. Shako, welcome. From, as you can see, let's just skip up there. It's 0-0 between From and Ocherius based on the updates that we have here. And was watching the game between Cornwall and Valley started 40 minutes after the Rossies versus Kempsey game. And that is what I don't like too, Sherland. That's the same thing I'm talking about. You know that they're in the same group. They should start the same time. So they should know what is going on. I mean, Kempsey had to win, right? Rossies, they were there waiting on the outcome. When I was looking, the first, I don't know, some first few minutes of the Spot Valley, it was like 0-0. And I was like, what? Spot Valley are World Carnival. But then we heard that. But again, you know, we weren't sure. Davian, welcome. Dintil, one central win, Dintil will go through on in the second spot. They won't come down to goal difference. The only time they will come down to goal difference is if Central and Port Antonio should draw. All right, so that's the situation. Yeah, definitely, Sherland. And that's what I am talking about. If ISA can be more proactive in that regard to ensure that some of these things, they don't happen, you know? So let me just see if I can find some time. And guys, if you're here and you're not yet a subscriber, please hit the subscription button. You're welcome, Davian. Oh, Charlotte is saying 4 goals in. I was surprised because as soon as you keep refreshing, I was like, what? Can't what score again? So, it's that kind of thing. So we'll definitely see. Garmel is saying Ochi is a tough school. Yeah, I think so too. And guys, come on, man, hit the like button. Can we get the likes up to 26 more people? Hit the like button. Okay, I am supposed to check on some information for you guys. Let us just do that and see what else we have at this point. All right, so we're checking too. All right, so doing multiple checks. So we're getting Monroe 4, Malden 0 in the second half. So let me just refresh here to see if we have that. Dintil 8, Yalas 0. So just Dintil score is not yet here, but just from Issa, we're getting that Dintil is on 8 goals to 0 there, as expected. All right, so just getting some more updates there. And Monroe, and this was just like a few seconds ago, Monroe College, they are leading 4 goals to 0 at this point. All right, so I'll keep refreshing this. This should update soon, but we're getting that Dintil, they're leading Yalas 8 goals to 0. All right, and from Tech still 0 here. Black River, 6 goals to 0 there. So we'll just wait. And the last update between Alphonsus Davis and Brownstone was 0-0. All right, so we're just going to just wait perhaps another minute or so to see what happens and just refresh our page here. But welcome. All right, so okay, Prashimi, I guess you're agreeing with what I just shared there in terms of the dental situation there. All right, guys, so welcome. Come on, 4 more persons hit the like button, and we get up to 20 likes. And all persons here, all of you here, just share to one person. If you share to one person, all of you will go up to 34 persons here on the live. Let's see how well you can do. And not Davis. And let's see here. I'm not sure Davian there. Oh, Alphonsus. Perhaps that's what you're talking about there. Let's do a refresh here to see if we can get those big numbers in on screen here. But just to let you know that based on information from Issa, Dintil, they're leading Yellows 8 goals to 0. All right, so I can tell you about that. Centralized School now leading Port Antonio 5 goals to 0. And Monroe College, they're leading Malden 4 goals to 0. All right, so I guess this page is just slow. Mats Morgan, welcome. All right, yeah, you said Davis. Okay. All right, so welcome one, welcome all. Let me just see here. Monroe 4 goals to 0 there against Malden. Dintil 8 goals to 0 against Yalasan. That's expected. All right. And it's still 0-0 between Alphonsus and Brownstone. All right. And tomorrow we should see Denby and Homewood Tech and Happy Grove and Bel Air. But Happy Grove, they're happily into the round of 16. All right. So just to let you know that win, lose, or draw, they're there. Let me just check in with you guys in the chat here. And see what's the situation here. Come on, guys, hit the like button. We can definitely do that. And also the subscription button. All right. Really appreciate the support as we continue to grow stronger together. So let me just see here. So given the updates, for example, with centralized school, 33 minutes ago, 10:43 to 12. I'm going to say we're getting close, perhaps another 12 minutes. I don't know what the stoppage time will be. So if you want to put, it should be getting closer to ending that central game. Likewise, Dintil too. All right, so should be getting somewhere there. All right, so we'll definitely see what is happening. I can't tell you any specific time, but we should be getting closer and closer. All right, so now we have the updates here. So Dintil, 8 goals to 0. Black River, 6 goals to 0 there. All right, against Cedric Titus. From, they're still there, 0-0. All right, because Ocherius, they want a spot in this, and they're playing to ensure that they can move forward. Centralized School, 5 goals to 2 there against Port Antonio. All right, we're told it's 0-0 between Alphonsus and Brownstone. And Monroe now goes up to 5 goals to 0 against Malden. So it's all over for Malden. And it all depends on what happens between Alphonsus and BT, Brownstown. All right, so that's interesting there. And let me just remind you about this group. All right, but I'll say it's all over for Malden. All right, but let me tell you, Monroe, they are saying a prayer. All right, they are saying a prayer. Let me tell you what that prayer is about. Let me just tell you what that prayer is going to be about for Monroe. They are going to, well, Monroe would be all good. They'll go to 6 points. All right, once they take this lead, they're going to 6 points. So it's Brownstone. I guess Monroe is not really saying a prayer. They just want to win this one. They move to 6 points. If there is a draw between Brownstone and Alphonsus, it means that Brownstone, they'll go, they'll move forward, yes, on goal difference because they are on a +1 goal difference. Alphonsus, 0. All right, so in this context, then Alphonsus, they need to win Brownstone to move forward. If they draw, Brownstone, well, if they draw, because Alphonsus is on 3 points. If they draw, Brownstone will move forward. So really, Alphonsus must win. All right? All right, Garmel is saying, I told you that Carl was going to. Well, Garmel, we're talking about that Spot Valley Cornwall game and just some reports that we're getting. But as I said, I can't verify any of them, so I'll just leave it alone. But it was just like they were 0-0 until all of a sudden I just see 4 goals. We just hear that Cornwall just going, just going. Nighttime, welcome. Central will go through once they maintain this lead over Port Antonio, okay? So just to share that context with you. Come on, guys. Can I get some likes? Hit the like button. Hit the subscription button, all right? As we continue to grow stronger together and we share with you as best as we can. All right, so let's do that. So if you're just tuning in, all right, hit the like button, subscription button, all right? So nighttime, if you're not yet a subscriber, hit the subscription button. And nighttime is saying, finally, Central Fidi Cup. All right, it means that they would go to the final, well, if they continue. And they seem to be a better team than last season, Centralized School. So I'm expecting this team to go a good way, a good way. All right, once they get out of here. All right, so welcome one, welcome all. Happy to have you guys here. Hit the like button, hit the subscription button. 2 more likes and we get to 20. And we want to a little brata too. All right, so let's just take a look at this page. Let's just refresh here. All right, Malden, Monroe, 5 goals to 0 there. Central, 5 goals to 2. Dintil, 8 goals to 0. Oche there, Nilal and From. And we have Black River and Cedric Titus there. 6 goals to 0 in favor of Black River. And that's true nighttime. Central definitely don't buy. That is so true. That is definitely true. That is so true. Christine, welcome. I'm not sure what that reaction is for, but welcome to the Voices in Education.
Hello, I think Christine's a little bit frustrated because the score between Frome, that's the match has changed from seeing Frome leading by one to nil all. So I think that's where some of the frustration might be coming from. But the things are doing are going pretty well, I would say. I'd love to add to your conversation that you were having earlier regarding the game with that Spot Valley Cornwall College game, and it it's simply this is how I look on it. You have to just take care of business. If you want to get through to the next round, make sure that you're not depending on anyone else. Because if you're depending on anyone else, the possibility lies that they might not be reliable. So try as best as possible to make it through for yourself. And just to add to something else that you shared as well, with in terms of ISA and the scheduling, to be honest, this year was really tough because because of the inclement weather, lots of rain fell, a lot of rescheduling, happened. But I agree with you in terms of the game should be played at the same time so that you know the advantage, no form of advantage or would be given to any particular team in any way or form. But in their times like these, it's a little bit hard. But as I said before, you're in the competition. Try and do what you have to and what you can in order to secure your spot, and you don't have to be watching other results. So when you're in that position, then some stuff come your way that you don't necessarily would want. So handing back over to you. So the matches are should be pretty much close to done, or they're done now, I would say. Persons are, sharing that in the chat. So it seems like it's going to be Central who will be topping that group six there ahead of Dintil, I'm presuming. So let's see how that aspect of it works out. But it's good to see teams coming out and taking the initiative. I think Central and Dinfield started really well in their games, and if they go through, then it is going to be totally what they did out there on the park. They did go out there. and made sure that they had the game in a good position. And just to add, I have to pause. I know I saw that comment earlier. Thank you for that person or those persons who just subscribe to the channel. Really appreciate what you have done, and we welcome you to this family. We are a family where we're able to share information or voice on varying issues, and we respect each other, and that's something that this platform is built on. We respect the views of each and everyone that is here. So thank you guys for coming over and sticking and staying with us. We really appreciate you being here. We'll get into the chat some more as things goes on. So let's see if there is any updates
All
coming
right, thank
in.
you. Okay, fantastic. I saw that conversation in the chat, but guys, if Central should maintain their lead over Port Antonio, right? Central will move to the top of the group and they'll go on 7 points. Right now, Dintil, they're on 2 points. If they should maintain their lead against Yalas, which is the expectation, they will move to 5 points. So it means Central will be in the number 1 spot and Dintil in the number 2 spot. Port Antonio will go home. Right now, Dintil will not go home given their big lead against Yalas, all right? And so Central, it's a must-win game for Central given this context against Port Antonio. So just to share that. So Dintil is going to go through, and it's the expectation that Central will move forward too as well in this round of 16. All right. So no confusions there for sure. Dintil, they are going through. They're not going home. All right, Central encounter is all done. All right, 5 goes to 2. So Central and Dintil, they will move forward. All right, and let me just refresh here just to see, what's going to happen. And you can come back later. I don't know, perhaps we'll do the table now too and just call it a day. Coming back later. So we'll just wait to see, some other results here. All right. And Monroe Malden there, 5 goals to 0. And I'm just going to do some additional checks, guys. So it's all done. Central, 5 goals to 2. Dintil should be over 2. All right. So don't watch that flashing. All right, and Sherlan is sharing that Alphonsus Davis 2 goes to 0. That would be fantastic for another Clarendon school. All right, so let me just see here and just going to do some checks here for you as well. All right, so what I have is that Alphonsus, they're leading Brownstone 1 goal to 0. That's the update that I have, and you could be pretty right, Sharon, but that's what Issa is providing at this point. All right, and that update, so it could be that they scored just a few minutes ago, within like a minute or two ago, based on this ISA update. All right, but we'll definitely keep an eye out on that. All right, in that context. All right, so just to let you know, that's the situation there. So 5-2 Central. Congratulations. We're proud of little school, listen, man. And guys, I am going to come back here and I want when we have a number, and hopefully it will happen when we can do like a live commentary to help out with Centralized School sixth form breakfast program. And the school is not one of those top schools that have, yes, they have an alumni association, but those traditional schools that will have certain resources. So, the school, they get students from very, poor backgrounds or low socioeconomic backgrounds, I should say. And so sometimes it's very challenging for students to come to school or just have something to eat. So what that program is doing there is really trying to give them a good start in terms of as they come in the morning, they'll have breakfast, tea, and so I really want to use my platform to be a part of that. It's really good to support students as best as we can, and I'll try to figure out a way. But if it is that you're interested in supporting it, you can just let me know. If you have the WhatsApp number, you can just send me a message over on WhatsApp there. But for sure, that is something that I want to do. Or if you want to send in like a super chat or a super sticker, you can do that. And once you send it, you let me know that this is for the breakfast program. All right, so that would be fantastic too. All right, so definitely looking forward to doing that. All right, so let us see here. And Sherlan is saying they just scored. All right, that's good to know. That's good to know. So we're just waiting. All right, so Yalas Dintil is all done based on the information that we have here. All right, it's all done for them. All right, so that means Dintil and Central, they're off to the round of 16. All right, so just to let you know that, and that's what we have there for Alphonsus, but we'll see the updates will come in. Monroe Malden, that should be over, I suppose, at this point. Ruren, I'm just coming over to you. Could you just check your phone too, please? And then you can pop on in here. All right, so I'm just looking here in the chat and I'm just checking also for some updates as well. So if you're just tuning in, welcome one, welcome all. Happy to have you guys here. And we're just here and waiting for the final whistle. I suspect that Alphonsus BT game that will perhaps go the longest because we were told of a delay at the beginning. So everything else should be coming down to gravy at this point, if not all done. So just refreshing here just to see what's the situation, what the situation is like at this point.
Yes, just going to pop in right now. It's good to see, well, it's good to see how that group six finished there, an intensely contested group, I would say, because of those draws that Dintil had with Central and Port Antonio really kept this group alive. And, good to see that, the teams were able to separate themselves in the end. Port Antonio was at the helm of this group for a long time, and they will finish out of the round of 16. But, you know, clinical performance by Dintil over Yalas and efficient performance by Central over Port Antonio, and that sees them going into the the round of 16. So just what I spoke about earlier, taking the opportunities that is in front of you, try to go out there and qualify and not depending on other results to go your way. But good to see this the Central and Dintil, progressing from this one, and hopefully they will continue to do well in the next round.
All right, Ruren,
I'm
could you
gonna
check
come
your
back over to
phone?
you for update. Okay, no problem.
Okay, thank you. All right, so in the context of Central, right? Central will now go into the round of 16 and they will go into the zone with Glenmuir School. All right, so Central will go into that zone. And, having the Clarendon teams in one zone. So, for example, in zone one, in the round of 16, we already have Glenmuir and Garvey Masio in that zone. All right, so just to share that with you. And so Central will join Glenmuir High School in their zone there. So that is interesting. All right, and let's see. Central, hold on. Central is group 5 or 6. Let me just double check here. I think Central is group 6. Let me just double check this, guys. Let me just double check here to make sure that I am sharing the right thing. So Central, no, Central is group 6. Let's go back and correct this. So Central will go to zone 4 with McGraw. And I think that's going to be good for them. So McGraw is in that zone as well as Manchester High. All right, so Central is going to go to zone 4 with McGraw, Manchester High, and the runner-up from group 5. And group 5 won't be decided until tomorrow. All right, so just to let you know that. All right, so in the context of where Dintil is going to go, so Dintil will be the runner-up of group 6. Dintil, they're going to join Glenmuir High School. All right, so Dintil, they're going to join Glenmuir High School, and possibly Happy Grove might be the winner of group 5 coming to join those schools. So we'll definitely see what happens. And the winner of group 2 in the context here of that group with Glenmuir. Group 2, we're trying to decide at this point, From Tech, Ochi, and we'll see Black River, what happens there in that context. All right, so that's pretty much the situation there. And this is what I was talking about too, where you have some schools, they can kind of decide where they go, right? In that context. So definitely interesting times here. And again, we're here and just waiting for these live to perhaps move away. But it should be a situation where most of these games should be coming to an end. All right, so we're just going to wait and see. They say tenants in a while na dance. So we're just waiting to see what information we can get to share at this point. All right, so let me just see. And of course, I need to take a little break. I need to grab a bite, but let me see here, guys. But I won't leave you guys, so I'll be here. I'll be here, but just check in here for some further updates. And we're just waiting for things to just calm down. All right, so I'm here and we're going to see what happens. Welcome one, welcome all. So Ruran, do you want to just come on in at this point while I grab a little bite? All right, not hearing Ruran, so.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay,
No problem.
fantastic.
Just getting myself all organized. Thank you guys for being here with us. We really appreciate having you here with us. Another exciting round of games, and this is separating the teams. And what I believe is that this round of 32, this round here, it it showed which which teams are better. I would say the teams that when you're coming out of a zone or a group, when you're coming out of a zone, I would rather say, you're not too sure what is happening in that zone. But this round of 32 has shown us who are the stronger teams in the country in the D Cup. And, these teams, I believe, have progressed into the round of 16. We still have a few more left to be a few more left to be decided. But so far, most of the teams that you would predict to go through, the likes of Glenmore, CC, so on. Most of those teams are in the round of 16. And the other thing that we didn't touch on today is the how some of the teams that we don't necessarily recognize, or some of the teams that they you wouldn't consider them to be a top runner, but they have risen above. Central did that a few years ago when nobody would, very few people would be betting on them. They made it to the finals, and you can see how they have been progressing since then. And a few other schools have, stepped up their game and, making this competition better. So I can just imagine years next year, a few years down the line, how competitive this competition is going to be. And that is why we're here discussing it, because this is something that we are really interested in. So we're going to do another check-in. I think quite a few of the games should be over now. We heard that one of the games, they started a little bit late because of, the referee not making it in, so on time. But the game started, so I guess they got in, and that is going to come our way soon as things go. So we're gonna keep you posted on the results and what has happened so far, and we're gonna keep watch on the games that going are still going on. So just to give you a little bit of an update, if you just joined us, please hit that thumbs up button, give us a like. If you haven't subscribed yet, we were asking you to subscribe, stay here with us so we can discuss the D Cup going right up to that final place. Hopefully, your team will be in the final and will win the competition. But we would love to keep the communication going with this one. If you're still here with us, you could drop the name of your team in the chat, and that would be awesome to see where your support is. And if we know the kids really appreciate that support from you. So currently, what we have here is Black River leading Cedric Titus 6 goals to nil. Chrome Tech and Ocho Rios, that one is still at nil all. So that's what we have there. And the the match between Dintil and Yalas, that one, Dintil giving Yalas his eight, leading that one 8-0. Almost sure that one is done, but you know, this group this group six showed that Central and Yala and Dintil, they really wanted this one, and they went out there and executed really, really, really well. So I guess from Group 6, we could literally confirm that Central and Dintil will go through from that one, and we are looking forward to see how the other groups will come on. And let's see what's happening with that. So please stick and stay with us. We appreciate your company, and we look forward seeing what will happen in the round of 16. So the competition is going to get nice and nicer because the better teams, it's like a sieve. You're sieving out, some of the teams and keeping some. So let's see who will make the cut for the round of 16 and how the round of 16 will progress. But for now, I'm hoping and trusting that your team is doing well. We are in support of Central from this group, I think I had Central and Port Antonio to come out of this group, but Dintil doing really well there, and half at halftime, Dintil was the team that you would bet on to come out of this group, and we we know that Central had um, Port Antonio a few goals down, but I think, yeah, I'm not sure if that was mentioned, but we have to give Port Antonio some credit because they went 3 down, 3-0 down, and they could have, given up, but they did come back and score, 2 goals. Central must be credited for continuing to go for goals as well. So, I think all in all, that was a great game. Dintil made sure that if that match between Central and Port Antonio was drawn, then they would book that top spot, and one of them would have to go in terms of Central and Port Antonio. But good, good going so far. The games are really interesting, and I'm not sure how this. I think the round of 16 is going to be really, really interesting. With the teams that we see going, we're seeing going through. And if you need to change and jump on and jump onto a new team, I guess at the round of 16 is not a bad time to go there if your team is there. But based on what you have seen so far, let us know, which team you think is a team to watch. It doesn't necessarily have to be your favorite team, but a team to watch. So thank you for being here with us. Let me check. If you're here, you haven't liked or subscribed yet. We are not yet up to 2 or 3. Let's see, 2 people. Go ahead and give us a like right now. We really appreciate that. When you like this video, YouTube will share it with other persons so we can continue to grow our community. The larger community is, the more props that will come our way, and you know, we'll be able to do more for you. So we want to keep this family growing. We want to keep this, a close knitted family. We want this vibe to continue because I love the fact that you're here with us and you're sharing, you're liking, you're subscribing, and we're able to have some good conversations as it relates to schoolboy football. And Garmel is saying,
Absolutely.
oh, serious. Go ahead, go ahead.
Okay, absolutely. I was just agreeing with you there. And just to let you know that my understanding is that from Ochi match is still happening. So we'll wait to see and what happens in this one, as well as Alphonsus and Brownstone. All right, that one is still going 2 goals to 0. I suspect that Monroe should be all done, so I'm going to check with the Monroe connections to see if I can get any updates here. But all in all, some good games there. Coming back over to you, Ren.
Yes, thanks for the updates. I was going through and looking at Happy Grove, as Garmel says, the team to watch. Yes, haven't heard much about Happy Grove, but they have been doing really well. And I agree with you on that one, Garmel, Happy Grove. Anybody else would want to share a team that which is in the round of 16, which you think would be a good team to watch? For me, one of the teams that I'm going to watch out for now is Kempsey. Kempsey did really well in this round, and they have progressed. And a team that you wouldn't necessarily go out and bet on, but they have made it through and really doing well there. So that's another team that I would look out for in this round of 16. So that's amazing. Anybody else, if you feel free to share in the chat and let us see how things will pan out. But it's good to see the round, the second round fizzing out, and hopefully, the excitement will continue to go on. We really appreciate, your support here with us. So, yes, continue staying here with us. We're going to look at this. So, Alfonso, they are one leading Brownstown 1-0. Monroe leading Malden 5 goals to nil.
No,
And
it's 2 goals to 0.
the Monroe game.
Alphonsus and BT.
Okay, my bad. So I guess that hasn't been fully updated yet. But that Alphonsus team too is bringing some surprises along the way. Uh, that's one of the teams that you wouldn't necessarily know much about, but they are doing really, really well. Let's see how that game will finish off because sometimes a rush of goals might be coming at the end, so we're not too sure how that one will pan out. But let's see how that one works out. But they're not doing their credibility. They're not doing any damage to their credibility as a school. Um, Let's see how that one will work out. So the games should be coming down to the closing, I would think. So hopefully we can get some updates as things progress. Do you have anything on your side?
Pretty much what is here, but something that I perhaps want to do is to look at the groups and just to share with persons while we're waiting for some updates here. And so I'm perhaps going to segue to just show what the groups are looking like while we kind of wait for, and I suspect that Monroe Malden should be all done. But again, we're just going to kind of just, show some groups here as well. And maybe I could do this to cover a bigger part here of the screen so that we can have a look, guys, at the groups again while we're also waiting for some finality. All right, so for group one, hopefully you're seeing that clearly on your screen there.
Yes, we're seeing it.
Okay, fantastic. And Sherlan is saying from Ochi, it's nil all full time. So perhaps I need to refresh my page here and let's just see what happens. All right, once we refresh here, but we'll definitely keep an eye out on what is happening. So hopefully this is the situation in terms of the page being refreshed. So based on what happened yesterday, we now know that Kemsil and Cornwall, they are off to the round of 16. All right. And in that context, let me just tell you, based on the information that I have here, I know Kemsil, they moved to zone 1 with Stets, all right, and Garvey Masio. Then in zone 2, we have Cornwall College and Clarendon College, all right, so we'll get down there. In group 2, all right, so from Ocherius, it's all done. All right, as you can see here from the table, Chrome ending on 7 points and Ocherius on 5. So there was definitely a draw there. And so that is all over. So From Tech and Ocherius, they are moving forward. And let me tell you now where From is going, being the top of the team. This is group 2. So From is going to zone 2. So From is going to join Cornwall College and Clarendon College. And then the winner of group 4, which I believe we won't know until tomorrow if that's the group. All right, so From Tech, Ocherius, they are moving forward. So Ocherius in the second spot, they will move to, let me see, run out group 2. They will move to the zone 3 with Glenmuir. All right, so we'll definitely see what is going to happen there. All right, so that's Ocherius there. All right, unfortunately, Black River with that big score, and I think it is still going on. They will lose out. It doesn't matter for them at this point. And then here we have Stets Manchester, and I told you where Stets was. Stets, they are with here Kemsil, all right, and Garvey Masio. Manchester, they are going in the group here with Central, Magra, Manchester. All right, so they're in that group. And over in group 4, all right, so this one is should be all done. Malden is out. All right, Alphonsus Davis. Well, perhaps this is going on. This one was a late start. All right, they are leading BT 2 goals to 0. All right, so let's look at what is happening now. Alphonsus, they're currently on 3 points. So if they win, they move to 6. Monroe is scheduled to win. So it's going to be Monroe here going on 6 points. All right, then it comes down to goal difference in terms of who goes to the top and not. So it's likely that Monroe will go to the number 1 spot, Alphonsus in the number 2 spot if Brownstone doesn't, catch up in this regard. All right, and so we see From Tech Nilal there. Over in group 5, this won't be done until tomorrow. And we see the result they're going for Alphonsus. And group 6 is all done. So Central and Dintil, they move forward in this group. So that's the situation here. All right, so Central, Dintil, and I told you, so Central, they're the winners of Group 6, so they will join McGrath and Manchester. The runner-up of Group 5, I believe Group 5 is the group that won't happen, yeah, until tomorrow. That will join that group, so perhaps Happy Grove, and it's likely Happy Grove is going to end in the number 1 spot unless they want to go elsewhere. All right, so we'll see what happens there for sure. Dintil, they move to the zone with Glenmuir. So Glenmuir, Dintil, they'll be in that zone Ochi. All right, they'll be in that zone just from my memory here. And I just talked about Glenmuir winning that zone, and Clarendon College, they are also into the round of 16. They are with Cornwall College. All right, and I believe Frome Technical in that one. And over in group 8, all right, Magra, Garvey, Masio. So Magra with Central, Garvey there with Stets, Kemsil. All right, so this is what the groups are looking like at this point. So Ruren, I'm coming over to you there just to find out if you have anything you'd like to add to this conversation here.
Yes, it's just good to see so many carried on teams in this round of 16. I'm thinking that probably they'll have to rename the D Cup C Cup because of the number of kind and schools that are progressing this year. But that's really good to see, what is happening for those Clarendon teams. But the round of the round of 16 is going to be really interesting because the top teams, the teams that did really well in the round of 32, in order to get in, they are, going to go up against some good competition. So it's it's going to be nice to see Central against the likes of, I think, Stetson and Manchester. And, there's going to also be a battle of the CC. So that game is
Not,
going to be
not
awesome.
Stets.
Who is
Not
going to
Stets.
reign?
Not Stets. Stets is not in Central's group.
I know Manchester's there, so I wasn't too sure about that one. But I know that Cornwall College and Clarendon College is in the same group.
Zone. And I believe From Technical is in that zone as well. So Central
So,
will go with McGrath, Manchester, and what am I missing? Oh, Group 5. Group 5 is not yet
oh, not
complete.
complete yet. So it's coming through to be. It's going to be a really interesting round of 16.
By the way, Stets is with Kempsey and who else is there? Garvey. So far, that's what that zone one is looking like.
Okay. But interesting round of 16 coming up, and I guess tomorrow this time we'll know exactly who will be where, and starting to prepare for those round of 16 games.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm just refreshing here just to see what information we have here. But we want to wrap up, but we don't want to wrap up until we can give you some information to say, hey, it's all done now. So yes, it's all done. Alphonsus Davis, they won. Oh, Monroe, they're all done. So let's just take a look at this group here with Alphonsus. All right, so they, as I said, with the given the goal difference, Monroe College, they're in the number 1 spot, and Alphonsus in the number 2 spot. So this is group 4. All right. And let's just take a look here at group 4. So we're pretty much done here. All right. So we know that Black River is not moving forward, unfortunately, given this high score. So the runner-up of group 4 is Alphonsus. And this is what I don't like, Rurian. So in zone 1, we have like 3 Clarendon schools. Kemsil, Stets, Garvey, Alphonsus. So unless Manchester is claiming Alphonsus, but when I checked, when we Google it, it was saying Clarendon. All right, so this is the situation with zone 1. All right, the winner of group 4, so Monroe College, they're going to join. It's all the colleges. In zone 2 is the college group. Monroe College, Cornwall College, Clarendon College, and I guess Frome Tech. So zone 2 is the college group. All right. So we'll call it that, the college group. All right, zone 2. Ruren, do you have anything you'd like to share there?
I'm just listening to you. Group 2, the college group,
The
and
college group.
CC Cornwall. Yeah, so
Monroe
Cornwall
College,
College, CC, Monroe College, and I guess Chrome is the only outlier there.
the
But
outlier. So maybe the outlier going through.
well, let's see, because we have to just keep abreast of what is happening. But as I said, it's 16 teams, the 16 top teams, so things are just going to get closer and tighter and spicier as it relates to this competition.
Fantastic. So before we go, I see Sherlan. Sherlan is saying, I'm new to your channel and I like it over here. I'm so happy that you like it here, Sherlan, and welcome to the Voices in Education community and family. Ensure that you subscribe and be a part of this space. And, we try to be positive, and unfortunately, we can't open the phone line at this point to take some calls. Earlier, that microphone was just messing up, so I'm not sure what's the situation with that. So we'll have to try and figure it out. And tomorrow, I guess what we want to do tomorrow after the games, I suppose, Rurian, is that we'll come with that round of 16 table and make some predictions. But before, and early B, welcome. Early B saying D Cup is wide open this year due to the fact that there is no dominant team in the tournament. I reckon they will have a poor showing in the Flow Cup. The Manning Cup teams must be smiling. Well, not necessarily, and sometimes the day matters. Whether you show up and it's a wet game or field wet or it just matters. The support, a lot of things. All right. And when you look at over in Clarendon, I would say, given what I have seen early B, the Clarendon teams are very strong, right? Because when we think about like Kempsey High School, they were a third place finisher, and I keep saying this, behind, I believe, Glenmuir Garvey, Kempsey. They were a third place finisher. And for them to come and top a big group with Cornwall College and Rossies, no one would expect that. When we were making our predictions, we did not predict Kempsey to come out. Actually, we had Cornwall College and Rossies to come out of it, given, D-Cup culture. And so it's interesting to look at it from that perspective too. I mean, Denby High School right now is the only Clarendon school you could say is more likely not to make it to the round of 16, and they still have a chance. And Denby was a third place team, and so we'll see what happens. To my knowledge, that's the only Clarendon team, and that would appear to perhaps not move, will not move forward, but they play tomorrow, so we'll see what happens. Oh, Sherlan is saying I already sub. Thank you so much. Welcome, Sherlan. Happy to have you here. All right. G, welcome. All right. And I guess this is Clarendon, D Cup going up at Chapelton. Why, G? Clarendon look a little shaky this year still, Of all the Clarendon teams, if you are being honest right now, in terms of the teams that, and if you look at it from the rounds, so for example, Kempsey was in Glenmuir zone, Glenmuir topped that zone. So and then you look at Central, Clarendon College, you would perhaps want to put Central and Glenmuir as the two top Clarendon teams right now that you would want to expect to see moving forward. And of course, I want to see all the Clarendon teams go. I'm a Clarendon girl. All right. So, Rurian, I don't know if you have anything to share there before we get to look at our predictions and see where we're at.
Well, as it relates to the Clarendon teams normally do well. When it's not Glenmuir, it's CC, and that's what kind of happened over the years of the past. But what I realized with the Clarendon teams is that the gap is closing. The likes of Central, Demby, and look at even Kempsey now and Alfonso. You wouldn't expect those team to be up and running in the D Cup, but it shows that Clarendon is a force to reckon with when it comes on to soccer and schoolboy soccer as well. And it's highly likely that the trophy will come back to Clarendon, somewhere in Clarendon, whether it's up north or in central or
Or
southwest. It's going to
Southwest.
be Yes, it's going to be, it's highly likely that it's going there. But, really proud of the Clarendon teams and how they have performed really coming through this year. So that's really something that I am enjoying so far.
Yeah, absolutely. And early B saying the Clarendon teams have been the dominant teams in recent years. The other parish teams are merely spectators in the D Cup. And I won't say recent years, unless you're going to say in terms of CC winning the cup, the back-to-back titles. I don't know. But if you go all the way down, like back into like early 2000s, Glenmere High School, they have a D Cup culture. From I can't tell the specific year. I'm just going back. Rossies, but I guess that's not Clarendon, if that's the point you're making. Lennon, and I think Garvey too, you know. So I think perhaps as Ruren says that sometimes it's changing from like a central coming in now in terms of making it to a final 2 years ago. You wouldn't expect them, but they got there. They seem to be looking good this year. And so we'll see what happens. But overall, Clarendon is good. And Garmel, yeah, you sure the same thing, you know, man. Central Glenmere, my team's from Clarendon. Don't rule out Garvey. Never. And I am wondering, is Meron Gordon still coaching Garvey Maseo? Just let me know in the chat, guys, if you can confirm. All right. So, you know, that's the situation. Guys, if we get 9 more likes, we get to 30 likes, and I believe we can go there. All right. So, Ruren, quickly in terms of, I mean, we did this last evening with the groups that were finalized. So, in terms of Group 1, Kempsey Cornwall moving out, based on our predictions, we're 50% here because we had Rossies and Cornwall to get out. So, Cornwall moving forward. And then in this group 2, I
Yeah,
think we're good with this. Yeah. We had From Tech
yeah.
Ochi, so 100% here, I believe that's the prediction, right, Ruren?
Yes, we're good for group two in terms of the prediction that we had. But before we go to group three, we have to go to the chat, and Garmel is saying don't rule out the Cubans, and
That's
that's
what Timo
a good.
would say.
Yes, don't rule out the Cubans. And I remember Garvey had a good run at the D Cup as well. So it it's good to see some other schools popping up. But you know, when you have that unpredictability, just as Earl B said, it's wide open this year. It makes the competition nicer. You don't sure when you say, oh, it's going to be Glenure or CC or the Cubans or when you are not sure, it gives you that level of interest that would keep you locked into this, that added extra of interest. So that's kind of cool. So let's move on to group three when
Three.
you're ready.
All right. So for this group, it's 50% for me because I had Manchester Mannings, but I believe you're good with this
Yeah,
one. Ruben. It's
yes,
100%,
I'm
right?
100% with these. I selected Stets and Chester to come through from group three, so that's a proper prediction from me. Well, the schools matched my prediction. Let's put it that way.
Fair enough. Well done on that prediction, though. And
Thank
then
you.
with this one, it's 50% for me here. And but you, is it 50% for you too, or it's 100 here for group 4?
It's 100% for me with this one. I selected. I went out on a limb and I selected Alfonso
Alfonso,
Stevie.
yes.
And many
I
many
remember like I
persons
was
didn't
like,
have
what?
them there, but they proved me right. So that I am really happy for them.
Yeah, I was like, what? Alphonsus, what? And here we go, 100%. So guys, we are like that, We're gonna come and tell them, well, the prediction never so right. And we're gonna do the same thing before the games in terms of the zones to go over into the quarterfinals. So we'll have to wait until tomorrow though to at least get that one done. And I suspect too that tomorrow we might not do it given the time and everything. We might just do it Friday. All right, in terms of the quarterfinal, but not the best of 16 that zone. All right, over in this one is not yet done, so we have to wait until tomorrow for group 5. All right, group 6, it's 50% for me. So Central and Dintil, they're moving forward. I had Central and Port Antonio to get out of this, and I believe it's the same prediction you had here, Uren. Talk to
Yes,
us.
50% for this. We had Port Antonio going through. Port Antonio did really well in the first round, but things fell away for them somewhere here in this round of 32. So yes, 50% for this one. We support Central 100%, and
Oh,
we're
yeah.
happy that they went through from this group.
All right, so Sean, welcome. And Sean is saying, I just reached. Welcome, Sean. And Brady's TV, welcome, one Happy Grove. And Happy Grove, they're happily into the round of 16 already. Win, lose, or draw. All right, Group 7, 100% for me. I had Glenmere and Clarendon College to get out of this one. And I believe, Ruren, you share the same prediction as well. Over to you.
Yes, yes, we aligned on this one and 100% to us on this one. Congrats for your predictions.
All right, fantastic. And over in group 8, all right, this one, it's 50% from me. And I believe the same for you. I had Garvey and Christiana to get out of this, but it's Magra and Garvey Massio.
Yes, 50% for me on this one as well. Another Clarendon team showing up there and delivering. And well played, Magra. And I think Magra is another school that you wouldn't necessarily bet on them to be make it to the round of 16, but they did really really well, and they must be commended.
I think Magra is coming from the group with Dintil, right? And it was just like four teams in that group. So perhaps that's the reason why we had it like that. If my memory is serving me correct here, Magra is coming from that group with Dintil. And I believe they were in the number 2 spot. So Dintil, Magra, I'm just trying, yeah, they're coming from zone J, Magra and Dintil. So, oh, it was Magra actually who seemed to have topped that zone. So Dintil was in second spot. So, but I guess because I believe that was a very small zone, just about 4 teams, I guess that's where, but it is what it is. Well done to Magra and Garvey Massio there. Sean, what you miss? You miss a lot, Sean. So some more groups, have been finalized. Which team or school are you supporting? So we'll just run through to just give you an update since you're just coming over. Some games were played today, and that helped us in terms of finalizing some of the tables here. So let's just take it back to group 1. All right, so this was confirmed yesterday. Kemshill Cornwall, they are moving forward. So Rosses and Spot Valley, they will have to regroup and come again next year or next season. Group 2 from Tech and Ocherius, they are moving forward. And so Black River and Cedric Titus, they will have to come back next season. All right, next we have Stets and Manchester High. They are moving forward. Mannings and William Nib, unfortunately, they'll have to come back next season and try for it again. And then we have here in group 4, Monroe and Alphonsus Davis. They are moving forward. And so Brownstone and Malden, they will have to come back next season and see if they can get over into the round of 16. Over in group 5, this one will be finalized tomorrow, but Happy Grove, as we know, they're already into the round of 16, win, lose, or draw. All right, so Ormwood, they're totally out of the competition. So it's going to be between, I guess, the encounter there, what Denby can do against Homewood. And Denby is going to pray that Happy Grove will defeat Belair to give them a little chance here to go on 4 points, but they'll have to score a lot against Homewood, all right, to make up for that goal difference. So that's the situation there. Central High School, they are moving forward. Central, along with Dintil High School, moving into the round of 16. Unfortunately, Port Antonio and Yalas, they will have to come back next year. Over in Group 7, as we know from yesterday, Glenmere High School and Clarendon College, they are moving forward to the next round, all right, into the round of 16. Unfortunately, Paul Bogle and Titchfield, they will have to come back next season and see what can be done. And over in Group 8, McGrath and Garvey Massio, as we know, they are going forward into the round of 16, and it's next season for Christiana and St. Mary High School. All right, so just to let you know that. All right, yes, Garmel, that's so true. And G is saying Demby season over. Not quite yet. It all depends on what happens. They just need to ensure that they win Homewood Tech and score quite a few goals. And say a prayer tonight that Happy Grove will defeat Bel Air. So Demby still has a shot at it. All right, it's not over for them just yet. And G Speed is saying, Sean is saying, Monroe surprised me. I never even expect them to come out of zone E. All right, Sean, lots of surprises there, but it is what it is. All right, so just to let you know that. So tomorrow we're expecting to see Demby and Homewood Tech, Belair and Happy Grove. Monroe today, they scored 5 goals to 0 against Malden. All right, Alphonsus 2 goals to 0 against Brownstone. Central, they scored 5 goals to 2 against Port Antonio. Dintil and Yalas, it's 8 goals to 0 in favor of Dintil. From Tech and Ochi, they played to a draw here, 0-0. And Black River seems to have ended with Cedric Titus 6 goals to 0. But unfortunately, that was not enough for them to go through, given that From Tech and Ocherius they played to a draw. All right, so that's the situation there, guys, and pretty much the updates and all that we can share with you at this point. Ruran, do you have any final comments before we wrap up here?
Yes, I just want to take time out to, thank the guys who came over to and supported us. We really appreciate having you here, and we're just hoping that you'll continue to stick and stay with us as we continue to go through this season of D Cup games. So really appreciate you. Come back. Let us know when you're here. Tell us what you're thinking. Tell us your team. Rep your team all the while. Make sure that you support your teams as well. If you can go to the games, go and give the guys that support that they need. But we totally appreciate you. Love having you here, and looking forward to seeing you next time. Some good games here, and we're just having a good time here. So thank you for having me on the platform as well, and I look forward working with you guys again. What good.
All right, wonderful, wonderful. So I'm just checking in the chat here to see if I'm seeing any final comments. All right, not seeing any final comments, guys. And as always, I just need to say, support your teams. Bancraft, welcome. Dintil all the way, fantastic. And Sean is saying thank you for the updates. I really appreciate it too. Thank you so much, Sean, for being here and for your support. And guys, we really appreciate the support. So continue to like, subscribe, share, tell your friends, family members, students to just come on over and be a part of the Voices in Education family. This is a safe and respectful place, and we want to maintain that. And on that note, I really want to thank you so much for maintaining our safe and respectful community space here. Really appreciate it. And tomorrow we'll try to be on, we're trying to balance that with a lot of other things. And so your help in terms of spreading, the information, sharing this channel, and just allowing us to expand will help us to bring you bigger and better programs. All right. So really, really appreciate it. Mistro, welcome. Watch and like, really, really. Oh, Dintil, you want me to repeat the score? It's 8 goals to 0 against Yalas. So Dintil there demolishing Yalas there. 8 goals to 0. All right. So just to let you know that, Bancroft. All right, guys. So again, thank you so much. And please remember to support your teams. All right. Win, lose, or draw, support the students. All right. They're there. They do not go out there to play and lose. They go out there to give it their best. And so we want to support them. Remember, it's not just physical, it's also psychological, right? And so even what you say to them definitely matters, all right? So try to give them words of encouragement, have supportive conversation. Nobody gonna say, hey boy, no what this do. No. Please. All right, just tell them, all right, work this time next season here, we're still there. We still are supported. They want that. And once they know that they have your support, they're going to go out there and do the best that they can. All right, so there's so much things that we can learn from sports that we can use to apply to our everyday life. And one of them is like navigating teamwork, all right, working as part of a group or a team. And it's also understanding that on some days we're at our best and we win, and on some other days we're just not there on top. And it's okay. It's okay if we're not always winning. It's how we bounce back from the losses. All right. So again, thank you so much for tuning in. Blessings and love, everyone. And I'll see you guys in the next live. Please do not leave without hitting the like button and the subscription button. Ensure too that you subscribe, all right, and turn on your post notification so that you do not miss any updates. Ensure that you turn on your post notification so that you do not miss any updates. So Bancroft, it's just two teams that will move from that group, and it's Dintil and Central. So Centralized School, they are the winners of that group. Dintil, they're in the number 2 spot. All right. All right. So again, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Blessings and love. And I'll see you in the next live. Bye for now.